That's gonna have to do. Okay. Hello, everyone who was coming to the stream. Hello, anyone out in YouTube land who winds up seeing this afterwards. And hello to my editor, Star Chaser, who is doing this out of boredom, I think is... Star, you can put up whatever your reason for editing the video is. But welcome to DynaMarisa 3D. This is going to be kind of the most casual speedrun you're going to see because this is very much... I've been wanting to get my notes down for an actual speedrun of this game. So it's going to be somewhat of a speedrun, but also slow enough that I can explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So first thing, this game can be... the opening cutscene can be skipped with the right mouse button. And the very first thing we have to do is go into the weapon selection and change all of the weapons. And then this is going to be a new game normal run. So we're going to be playing through the game, all stages on normal, but as a new game. So, what is the game? It's... I've said it's DynaMarisa 3D, but as for what exactly it is, if anyone has ever played Earth Defense Force, then they will recognize it very, very quickly as kind of an Earth Defense Force style game. The primary goal is to defeat enemies on each stage, on each mission, to finish the mission. Enemies will drop, and don't need any of those weapons. Enemies will drop one of three things. Either they will drop mushrooms, which restore your health, and that makes a lot more sense if you're familiar with Toho. The second thing they can drop are witch hats, like what our lovely Marisa is wearing, and these will increase your maximum HP for the entirety of the save file. I can explain that in a little more detail later. The final thing that they can drop, and probably the most important, is they can drop weapon boxes. These contain a random weapon chosen out of a pool based on the stage and the difficulty you're playing on. There's a couple of weapons that we're looking for, but not too many. The problem is there's a lot of possible weapons, and we have absolutely no control over what weapons we get. So how good or bad this run is almost entirely up to RNG. Now, I mentioned that on most of the stages you need to defeat all of the enemies. The first mission was pretty simple. You just had two waves of enemies, both of which spawned in front of you. This stage, you had one set of enemies that spawned in front of you, and then another wave of enemies spawning into groups. Spawning first group of enemies in front of you, the second set of enemies spawning in two groups towards the back of the room on opposite sides. And this is actually the first of two cutscenes in the game. This is going to go on for long enough. I usually just like to see how far around the top of the banister, the second floor, we can run. So that gives me a little bit more time to explain a few things. So I mentioned the save file. By the way, if you get up to the top of the stairs and you're just now getting into this set of dialogue, you did it fast. So the way the game works, you can select, at the beginning of the game, you only have access to Mission 1. Whenever you complete Mission 1 on any difficulty, you can attempt Mission 2 on any difficulty. clear mission 2, you get mission 3, so on and so forth. So, for the most part, the game is open-ended. Yeah, didn't quite manage to make it all the way around, but you know, and we're going to avoid that. But okay, mission 3. This is a clear the waves. These 3 purple, pinkish UFOs are going to just spawn enemies. We have to clear out, I think it's the first wave and most of the second wave to finish the mission. Enemies will keep spawning, so, and there's not really all that much we can do about that. So, I just get to one of the drop points and just camp under it. Enemies will find you very, very quickly, so not having enemies to shoot nearby is not a problem. So, because you can play any of the missions, any difficulty, at pretty much at any time, your weapons and your maximum HP are saved for the file and transfer from mission to mission. So, the more hats you pick up, the more health you're going to have. You can grind a lot of stages and get... okay, I'm just going to shoot you. And get a lot of hit points and pretty cool weapons. And I'm just not hitting anybody. So, new game, you basically just start off with the starting equipment and try to clear out as many of the... try to get to the final stage with whatever weapons you start with and whatever you find along the way. And hopefully you don't die in the process. There is no game over screen, so failing a mission just wastes the time of that mission. You don't have to worry about needing to... weapon box. You don't need to worry about starting over from the very beginning. The game's pretty nice like that. Give me that hat. Don't want any of these weapons. This is a pretty simple mission of defeat all the enemies. Unfortunately, all the enemies spawn at the far side of the... or they spawn somewhere down in the hallway. Oh, and they fly. So this mission also pretty simple and self-explanatory. What else can I explain? Oh, the weapons at the very beginning. So the game starts you off with a, let me call it a machine gun. It fires a lot of bullets very quickly, not particularly accurate or powerful. But because you can stun lock enemies, some enemies, quite a few enemies, it's powerful enough in its own right. But for the range you have to be at in order for it to really be effective, you're better off with the shotgun. Because the shotgun just does... It fires more projectiles faster. And although it's not quite as powerful, the individual bullets aren't quite as powerful, you're still shooting out more bullets fast enough that, I mean, pretty much anything dies in one shotgun blast. We're still going to be looking for an upgraded version of this shotgun, because although it's possible to beat the game with this thing, it's not going to be nice. I've had to do it once. It's not fun. It's a good challenge, though. The other thing we did was we swapped off of the let me call it the rocket launcher. It fires a long-range explosive round. So the thing about the rocket launcher, I mean, you would think, you know, high power, explosion, good for clearing out multiple enemies. The problem with that, though, is explosions affect you whether they are friendly or not. Also, we can have fun with chair physics. So if you get affected by an explosion, you fall down. Falling down means you're not shooting. You're not moving. If your gun is empty, you're not reloading. I'll pick this up just to give it a try. We'll just see how this this particular weapon is a homing missile. So far, not loving it over the sniper rifle. But back on the explosion bit. So if you're too close to an explosion, you get knocked down. You can't shoot, you can't move. If you can't move, you can't dodge or get closer to enemies or what have you. And on top of that, you also can't reload your weapon. Your weapons in this game have technically infinite ammunition. You just have to reload them. They only reload, first off, when you fire off the last shot in the magazine, but then they also have a reload time. And if you get knocked down, you're not reloading, which means it takes longer for you to be able to shoot again, and for a speedrun, that's bad. Actually, in even just normal play, it's pretty bad. The only enemies in this stage, I believe, are these flying enemies. We'll, see. Yeah, need to finish my thought on the explosive weaponry. So, the rocket launcher causes an explosion, and if that goes off too close to you, you get knocked down. I think you saw already just how easy it is for the enemy to just completely swarm over top of you. And there's nothing you can really do about that. Okay, yep, nope. Homing missiles are bad. That is an official note now. Homing missiles bad. Okay, thank you. Thoughts. Weapons we're looking for. A better shotgun. We're also looking for a better sniper rifle. There is one in particular I'm thinking of. And when I see it, I will... I have yet to have a run where I don't see it. It is an extremely common weapon for how powerful it is. This mission's actually kind of fun. It introduces... no new enemies are introduced, but it does introduce the idea of having allies. I mean, you've got the little small fry fairies that help you out. But this one will actually have someone using, amazingly, a shotgun. which instantly makes her the best character. You don't get to choose your allies. They're stage dependent. They just follow you around, shoot whenever. Just got to clear out the waves. Also, gotta say, I have not been paying any attention to the dialogue, so anyone who's enjoying the dialogue, enjoy the dialogue. It gets wonderfully silly. So I know I skipped the opening cutscene. Oh, and those were shotgun knives. Yeah, the shotgun doesn't actually shoot bullets, it shoots knives. This game is so wonderfully silly. Let's make sure to grab all of the items. So the story of the game, Marisa wanted to borrow some books. The librarian didn't want her borrowing books. She still hasn't returned the last set. So she made these things and drove us off. And so now we're back with heavy weaponry because we really want some books. I think you can tell the mansion is not doing so well because of all of this. Oh, that's another mechanic I forgot to mention. There is a mini-map. In the upper, what is that, right-hand corner is a, let me just call it proximity radar. You are always centered. Ran into a weird invisible wall there. You are always centered on the map. Whatever is directly ahead of you will be directly top of the map. Can I get the hat? Nope. Ah, there's the red spear. Ooh. Piercing bullets! Oh, wait. Need to equip our... Still not the weapon I'm looking for. Looking for a Gungnir. This is the first mission where we can destroy these spawning UFOs. We do so by shooting them. Shotgun does not have the range to do so, so we gotta use sniper rifle. Lovely thing about the UFOs, they always drop a collection of drops. Drops are always guaranteed. You will always have the same number of drops. How many, or what kind drop is completely random. And from what I can tell, the UFOs, the spawners, are set up on kind of a cycle. When they drop, they go into a cooldown, and then after the cooldown, they have to wait for the enemies that are spawned to drop below a certain number before they will spawn more enemies. And that's basically how they work. Take out the spawners, take out the remaining enemies, mission complete. Oh, that is a lot of hats. All of the hats. Oh yeah. Radar map. So you are always centered. Anything in front of you is always directly north. Anything behind you is always directly south. Left and right is left and right. If there are lines above the item, above the dot, it is below you. If it is below the dot, then it is above you. So you can see we've got a lot of flying enemies and a lot of UFOs, and then we've also got some ground enemies. This enemy, more spawners with flyers. Go nuts. The map is also color-coded, so enemies are always red, allies are always blue, and items are always green. Priority on this stage, blow up the spawners. Always. Then focus on whatever you can shoot. I feel like... Oh yeah, and we get the shotgunner joining us. I feel like I should mention... Oops, wrong gun. I believe these spawners are always on cooldown, so even if they can't spawn anything, they will still try. There they are. You can't shoot the spawners when they're closed. You can only shoot them when they're open, and even then, only in the blue. So that's fun. So a little note about the weapon charging, reloading. When a weapon depletes, it needs to reload, which is what that charging bar is. You can only reload whatever weapon is currently active. So there's a lot of items available on the map. I'm trying to work my way towards those. The more weapon boxes we pick up, the greater chance that we get the weapons we're looking for. Sniper rifle is wonderful for taking out flying enemies and also for shooting behind you when all of your enemies are really freaking far away. Oh, your allies do have their own hit point, their own HP values, so you might notice all of our fairy followers are kind of down at the moment. They're not doing too good. Remember there was a way to zoom... Can I not zoom in with this particular gun? Ah. Middle mouse click. I could have sworn there was a keyboard command for being able to zoom, but... Oh, movement. So you've got a jump, which is space. You've got a roll, which is spacebar. The roll does not give you invincibility frames. Don't be misled into thinking it does. But you start running after you roll, so... There's a test spear going near. And that's it. Oh. Let me equip the Gungnir. So the Gungnir is a one-shot, massive damage. It shoots really far, really fast. And we're introduced to the space tanks in this stage. These things are big. They take a lot of punishment. They are also guaranteed to drop items, so that's fun. Oh, and they shoot explosive homing shots. And then when you get close, they also do a lot of machine gun fire. Annoyingly, the fastest way to kill him is by shooting with a shotgun. Shotgun does a lot of freaking damage in this game. Excuse me, fairies, I'm trying to focus on the space tanks. As far as I can tell, the space tanks do not have any blind spot. You can't just circle around them. They will be able to shoot their machine guns at you no matter what. But they have a very bad turning radius. And I believe they can only shoot their homing projectiles at you if you are in front of them. So, try to stay behind them? I'm not entirely sure about when they can and cannot shoot their homing projectiles. It seems like when you're in front of them, mostly, but also not shooting them. You can see when they have a homing shot charging, and if just like that. But if you shoot them, it stops charging. So that's a thing. And this is the part where there are so many flying enemies, I can just shoot wildly into the air and still hit something. Probably a lot of things. That poor plate. Okay, so that's that mission. I think I've spoken pretty much about everything I can at this point. Until anything else pops up. Oh! Right, so weapons do have random properties to them. Kind of. A Tespir Gungnir is always going to do the same damage as any other Tespir Gungnir. Always. Their stats are always set. They're fixed. You're not going to find Tespir Gungnir that does more damage or reloads faster than any other Tespir Gungnir, unless it's got modifiers on it. And the modifiers come from when the weapon is in blue. Can't say a thing. So a weapon with a white name is always going to be the same as every other white named weapon. By the way, it was a trap. After you take out the meager forces in the center of the hall, you're surrounded by space tanks. This is kind of the hardest weapon, second hardest stage in the game. Oh, and I got hit by the explosion, so I got knocked down. Space tanks, because of their homing projectiles, they are seriously deadly at long range, and there's no way you're not fighting these things at long range. And because of the machine gun, they're also pretty deadly at close range. So it's not a fun time all around. But they are guaranteed to drop things, so if I'm lucky, I will get mushrooms to restore my health as I'm fighting these things. They are deceptively fast. They don't look like they move all that quickly. Some of these tanks have already gotten about halfway across the map. So at this point, it's just a can I kill them before they kill me type thing. Thankfully, we do have the shotgunner back to assist us. Yes, I do know her name. No, I'm not saying it. Everyone in the comments, argue among yourselves. Thank you. I needed that. Oh, probably a little bit of an interesting tidbit. So this game is somewhat graphically intensive, and it's not hard to find a computer that plays this with some lag. It was pretty high-end when it came out. Pushed the graphics quite a bit. The amazing thing, though, is every computer I've played this thing on that had lag, it didn't run the game. I mean, it played the game at like reduced FPS, reduced frames, but the game itself was still running at full speed. It's just you could only see what was going on every so often. Oh, my health is low. Please drop me health. I will take it. I got the health. I see some more health over there. I'm going for it. And I think my ally just died. That's lovely. So, time to get back into the machine gun fire. So I have had a case where I've played this game at about 5 frames per second, and the game was still running at full speed, which was absolutely amazing. Get up, get up, get up. I have no idea how I didn't take damage there. Maybe the roll does have some invincibility frames? Oh, another tank went down. I see some... Oof, that's not good. There's only 3 of them left. I just need to keep shooting them until they die. Oh, nope, I went down. So when you fail a mission, you just have to restart it. That's pretty much all there is to it. And dying on this stage is very costly because, well, these things have a lot of health. Killing them takes a while. Not really much you can do about that. Unfortunately, any items that you picked up, any health ups, any weapon boxes, they're all gone. So I might have had a nice new weapon I wanted to keep. It's gone now. So kind of the best thing you can do is just make a dash for one edge of the semicircle and just take out the things as they come. There's not really much else you can do. Just trying to reload all my weapons. Oh, if you... Just as a little side note, if you equip, for example, 2 shotguns, you get 2 shotguns to take into the fight with you. I have no idea if that would actually be useful, because remember, you can only charge whatever weapon you have currently selected. I think some testing needs to be done as to fast reload methods. See if it's any faster to reload one weapon and then the other. Cannot see. There he is. I can't shoot him because he's directly above me. You can only look up so far. You can't look straight up, which is slightly annoying sometimes. Usually it's not so bad. Just going to shoot off that last shot so it reloads. Yeah. I don't know if shooting the legs actually does damage to these things. That is a lot of machine gun fire that I do not want to be in. So I'm just going to come down here to this other guy that got stuck on the railing. These things have a really hard time hitting you if you're moving far enough away from them and just moving at pretty good speed. Yay, health. Okay, so they're all centered on my ally over there, which is not great. Oop. Didn't realize I was out of ammo. Ow. I need that health. Please go down. Please go down. Let's reload that gun. Okay, I have 10 hit points. I am resorting to baby strats. Because I really do not intend to have to replay this stage again. How are you still shooting machine gun fire all the way over here? Oh, climbing the stairs? Bad idea. While the tanks won't follow you up the stairs, they'll try, but you kind of have to lead them. Their homing shots can go up to the second story, and you've got even less time to dodge them up there, so bad idea. I know there's only one left, but if it hits me at all, I'm going down. Okay. Phew. Crisis over. So the NPCs are going to talk for a little while about story that we haven't really been paying attention to. At least I haven't been paying attention to it. If you guys have been paying attention to it, you probably know what's going on. Nope. Oh. But until Sunday stream, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the week, and take care.